Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, Luke Ryan's back. So if you're curious, which you probably are, how do you fit the carbon shield? You have a link pipe system for the BMW R NineT Racer. Classic superbike, classic race bike. Let's find out. Yeah.
It's showtime.
So we've got the rear set back on. The exhaust is tightened up here. This one's only loosely tightened up because we're just still getting everything kind of in place. And then we'll be tightening up the exhaust clamps in a moment, but for first, we couldn't resist the opportunity to fit up the carbon heat shields. Akrapovic have placed Loctite on the screws so that we don't have to. Oh, it's just threading so beautifully. It's a precision instrument. I'm only going to tighten it hand tight. Yay! It's a really beautiful cracked build. There you go, they're nice and tight now. Flapping it away, flapping it away. I'm just nipping up the carbon fibre heat shields from Akrapovic. Looks good. You can see the logo through the heel guard. It's like, whoa, nice. Alright, let's do some springs before we do the top one. And the reason we're going to do the springs before we do the top carbon fibre guard is if anything goes wrong, we don't want to catch ourselves on it and risk scratching it. Akrapovic have kindly provided us with 2 short and 2 long. It's nice that the rubber has their logo embossed in it. I'm going to say the longer ones look alright, but we'll also measure up the short ones. Kind of cool that they gave us both. It's going to be quite a stretch. The long ones, I could fit my hand. Jangler! Perfect fit, man. So just measuring up the exhaust springs. Akrapovic have given us 2 long and 2 short. The long ones I seem to be able to fit them by hand. It doesn't serve much of a purpose, although I could adjust, I suppose. And the short ones might just do it. It's going to be a bit of a stretch, but I think we can do it. This is a spring tool. Does that seem extreme to you? Let's see what we got. Short spring, but it doesn't seem... Seems like it's going to be under some serious tension. So I'm using a spring tool here in order to fit the spring. One of the things I don't want to do is scratch the exhaust. So I'm using my thumb to cover the end of the spring tool. Whoa, whoa, whoa. when fitting a spring, you always have the pointy bits on the inside. You never have them on the outside. Nice. Let's fit the top one. So here's the top spring. Make sure the Akrapovic logo is facing out towards us. Then I'm going to use my spring tool. And the pointy end always goes in. Don't do it the opposite way around. I'm going to cover the spring tool with my fingers so that I don't end up scratching the exhaust. I think the owner would be too happy if that happened. Nice bit of tension. And that's the springs fitted. They look great. How's that looking? Outstanding. What a mission this has been so far, everyone, on YouTube. This is how we are looking so far. We have the top mounts, which although supplied by BMW Meeyaradee, BMW had this mount piece actually made in Italy, which is quite interesting. So at the end can is held by springs between the high link pipe and the end can. But we need to figure this out. We also had to remove the charcoal canister system from the R NineT Racer. And this little nib here is sticking out of the left-hand side cylinder. We have to block that nib off somehow, off from the air, from the atmosphere, before you dare start this engine. So we need to figure that out. And we've removed the cast stock, but there's also tidying to do here, because we have the servo body just dangling down near the rear shock, and we also have a module as well that was attached to the charcoal canister that's just dangling down. So we need to figure that out, and then we need to manipulate the titanium Akrapovic system so it lines up with the lower mount. Oh, such a big, I mean, we've got tools, so many different kinds. Yeah, this is turning into a mega complex upgrade. And then Christ just can't do it on his own. He's tried, but he's just getting stuck and stuck and stuck. And luckily the amazing dad, I love Dad to bits, love the dad in the world. He has loads of experience with previous motorcycles, and we're just working this whole upgrade through together, and we're actually starting to make some progress. That's how the R NineT looks without being tidied up. You can even see the rear wheel on that single-sided wheel. And look at that black Akrapovic end can with a carbon fibre tip. And being a classic race bike, and being a classic superbike, a hark back to how superbikes used to be, black is very fitting, because on the modern superbikes they have that carbon fibre Akrapovic style, just like this. So very cool. And then we have our outstanding tail tidy as well, by Evo Performance. Lovely. So now we're going to fit the top carbon fibre heat deflector. It's real nice that they made this especially for the BMW itself. And all I'm going to do is just thread the screws in by hand to avoid any chance of cross threading and get a little bit excitable with your tools. So it's nice just to feed the screw in by hand first. Make sure that it's running real nice. And I'm going to just use a quarter drive handle to get me a little further in. Still a little loose. So I'm going to swap over to a quarter drive ratchet now. Could get a bit of light on here. And just evenly tightening them up. And trying to make sure that the carbon's centered. Just feeling it starting to pinch the carbon. These screws have already had Loctite applied to them by Akrapovic. There's no need for me to apply any. And again, I'm feeling them pinching the carbon. I don't need to just keep tightening until I can't tighten anymore or I will crack the carbon.
Well, thanks for watching everybody at Luke Rides. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty simple once you know what tooling to use and the correct fixings, and that you don't actually need to use Loctite. But there is a certain technique to it, because when you insert the screws, notice that the heat shields can actually still move, so you need to know the tightness without cracking that stunning Akrapovic Carbon fibre. Anyways, thanks for watching.
The way we...
The little rascal has spirit. As water.
This is the end of the trail for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, kid.
Ready for coffee? Oh. The crisis. Yeah.